me that one. I like to keep both of them on me. Hey, Oren, what's going on? Hey, you're here today. Excellent. All right. Taking a look at the fact that welcome to everyone. Taking a look at the fact that we are almost at the end of Samuel. Tonight's going to be a good night tonight. So we are on 1 Samuel chapter 30. Excuse me. Chapter 30. And over in chapter 30, we can see we have 31 verses. 31 verses for 30. We're going to take our time in our reading. Hello to everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I'm thankful each and every one of you guys were able to make it here. It must have been a tough day because I know that Discord has been quiet for quite a while. I'm not sure if something happened or, maybe your time was just filled up. But regardless, I'm thankful for each and every one of you guys that are able to make it here. But more so, I'm thankful for the fact that your relationship with Christ is growing every single day. Hey, Greg Gooser, what's going on? GRWG33, to all of our moderators, man, we are so thankful that you are here. And we're going to do like we normally do, guys. Today is August the 11th, 2025. So we will be having our Bible study, but we will also be doing our daily scripture for today. Have my water with me? Yes, I do. All right. And our daily scripture for today is going to be coming out of Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 through 12. It's going to be great. Retro, what's up? Man, I'm thankful for every one of you guys being here tonight. We're going to settle in. We're going to get in with our reading, and we're going to progress through the night. So let's go ahead and first of all, let's make sure that no matter how much time we may spend together, let us never stop spending time with the Most High one-on-one. Remember, it's great for us to read together, but it's even greater when you sit down and you read one-on-one, putting your faith in the Holy Spirit to give you the truth of the word. Hey, what's going on, James? To give you the truth of the word, right? Because the Holy Spirit is that spirit of truth, that Ruach HaKodesh, right? JD, what's going on? Hey, because I don't want to butcher your name, I'm not going to say it, but welcome. Now, taking a look at our daily scripture for tonight, August 11th, 2025, coming out of Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 through 12. And it reads, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says Yahuwah." Tonight, I really want you guys to listen to this, because this is very important for whenever you are attempting to really understand what the Most High is saying and what he's doing and how he operates. You have to remember that the way that you think is not the way that he thinks. And the way that he does things is not the way that you do things. For the way that he thinks and the way that he does things is so much higher than us, right? "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain comes down and the snow from heaven, and returns not there, but waters the earth and makes it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It should not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For ye shall go out with joy and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands." This is the Most High explaining to us that it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Whatever he says will be done. That's it. That's it. So when he says all that call on the name of the Lord shall be saved, that settles it. It's done. When he says that there is no other Savior outside of him, besides him there is no other Savior, period, that settles it. That settles it. All that argument about, well, how can he do that? How can he be the Son and the Father and the Holy Spirit? How can he do? His ways are higher than our ways. He says he's so much higher than our ways. It's like how the heavens are higher than the earth. You understand? There is no limitation to how high how much higher that he is than us. Do me a favor, brother, and close that door behind you. Is that your second little mini tangerine that you've eaten today? Because you peeled that first one earlier and you ate it, right? Go put that one up. You can have a banana, but only one type of fruit for each day. Okay? We're not gonna eat the whole bag of mini oranges in one sitting. Thank you, sir. Now, this dude's is growing, man. All right. Taking a look at the fact that we are on 1 Samuel chapter 30, and yesterday we was reading 1 Samuel chapter 29. We read 28 and 29 last night. And the reason that we did that was because we were able to receive a lot of understanding. We got confirmation of who we actually fight against. The fact that we really do fight against disembodied spirits, or the spirits that are all have access all across this world at different levels, from the lowest level to the highest level. That this is what we are actually fighting against. Well, how do we get confirmation of that? Saul went to a medium. Saul went to a woman who had the ability to see on the other side. One who had a familiar spirit, as it was said. We understand that magic is real, that the things of the occult are real. We understand that demons are real. We understand that they have capabilities and all these different things. And we also understand that although a man may be laid down to rest, that his soul can be called forward. And this is something that we should never, ever, ever walk in. This is something that we should never do. We got confirmation that we never want to end up being like Saul. And what we mean is, when we do fall short, or when we do fall into anything that we're not supposed to be doing, we want to go back into the light to confess what we have done, knowing that Christ is faithful to forgive us. We do not want to do like Saul and just go from sin to sin to sin to sin and fall further and further and further down. This is not what we want to do. In fact, we don't want to be like Solomon either. We never want to fall to the point to where we begin to consult on the other side. We don't go to people that read tarot cards. We don't go to people that read palms. We don't go to people who have spirits or can hear voices from the other side. We do not touch or play with the things of the demonic. This is not for us, but it's real. It's deadly real. And we saw that Saul was seeking after an answer. In fact, since the Most High wouldn't answer him, Saul tried to force the hand of the Most High through going through Samuel. Going and having Samuel's spirit raised in order for him to be able to speak to him and to find out what it is that he wanted to know. Because he was going to Samuel because the Most High wouldn't talk to him and the Philistines was on the way. And Samuel gave him the information that he wanted, but it wasn't the information that he really wanted to hear. It was the fact of the matter that Saul learned that the following day, not only would he be with Samuel, but that his sons would be with Samuel as well. Seeing and understanding that once the Most High has declared something in the spirit, it may take time to happen in the physical, yeah. But it's set. When he says it, it's done. And that settles it. So as we go into Samuel chapter 30, we're in the second to the last chapter of 1 Samuel. And we're going to dive in and we're going to see what Samuel has for us here. And we normally read out of Ziglag. Okay. We normally read out of the KJV, out of the Sefer, but we keep the KJV with us handy. And that's what we're going to do tonight as well. So we're at 1 Samuel chapter 30, and it would be great for you guys to read along. And it reads, "Now it happened, or it came to pass, when David and his men had came to Ziglag, on the third day that the Amalechites had invaded the south and Ziglag, attacked Ziglag and burned it with fire." Now this is a problem, right? Because David had came up with the king of Gath, riding on the side of the Philistines, getting ready to go into war or battle against Saul and the Israelites. And the reason why David is with the Philistines is because Saul wouldn't stop chasing them and coming after him regardless of what the situation was. Hey, what's up, Bagel? Regardless of what the situation was, they just would not stop. And so David made the choice to go ahead and flee from the land of Israel and go into the land of the Philistines. In fact, he was in the realm or in the territory that belonged to the king of Gath, right? And when it was time for the Philistines to go up to war against Saul and Israel, because it was time for Saul to be removed from being king, and it was time for the kingdom to be turned over to another, David was on the side of the king of Gath. But when the princes of the Philistines saw David, they looked and they was like, bro, what are you doing over here with us? And they was like, nah, man, you're not going to war with us. Matter of fact, go back to wherever the king of Gath is allowing you to chill at. That's where you go. And David was taking a position of talking to the king of Gath, and he was like, man, why are they doing me like this? What have I done against you? What have I done that's so wrong? And we were talking about how regardless of how much right you may do, regardless of how loyal that you are, you cannot expect people to be loyal back to you. No matter how much you do good to another, you cannot expect people to do back good to you. But that should not change you doing good to them. Even when you realize they're not going to do good to you, keep doing good to them. This is what we learned from David. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Keep doing what you are supposed to do, because you will be held accountable for the things that you have done or you've been partaking in. And seeing that and understanding that, Ziglag was the location that David and his troops were staying at in the land of the Philistines. But they had left from there. Now, they left their wives and their children and all of their goods there when they went up to go to war with the kings of the Philistines against Israel. And David was sent back, but he was told to go back the following morning after this altercation happened, or this discussion between the king of Gath and the rest of the princes of the Philistines. So we're seeing that before David gets back, right, there's a problem in Ziglag. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziglag on the third day that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziglag, and smitten Ziglag, and burned it with fire. So the Philistines are off to war. David is headed back to Ziglag, but the Amalekites come in and invade Ziglag, burn it, and take everything. So as David is already in a negative mood, knowing that he's not going to be able to go up in the fight against Israel. But this is a good thing at the end of the day, because we were talking about yesterday, how would the people accept David as king if he's been out there slaying them and doing them in? This is all set up by the Most High for him not to be able to fight in the fight. If you remember with, I want to say Aki, with Akish, or Aki, the king of Gath, what he was saying to David yesterday, he was telling David, David, I want you with me. But obviously the Most High must be intervening and causing you to go back. Right? So as David is coming back to Ziglag, which is his territory now in the land of the Philistines, another group, the Amalekites, have come in and taken everything. Verse 2, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. Meaning that they came and captured everyone, but they did not kill anyone. Excuse me. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their women and their sons and their daughters were taken captive. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. So when they got there and they saw the condition of the city that they were running, or that they had taken over, what condition that it was in, it struck a grievous wound in their heart. For they sat and they wept and called out, right? And this is that, when it says they cried to the point to where they had no more power to weep, I'm talking about, man, they out there boo-hooing crying, right? And these are men of war. Do we understand? And David's 2 women were taken captives. Give it to me. Akituv. Yeah. Akituv, the Jezreelite, and Abigail, the woman of Nabal, the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and his daughters. But David encouraged himself in Yahuwah Elohehu. Okay, so why did the people want to stone David? Well, you got to understand that the people that's with David, they're Israelites. Because remember when David was at the cave of Adullam? And while he was at the cave of Adullam on the run from Saul, that his family and the unwanted individuals, those that were in debt, the broke people, they all came to David and rallied around him. So these are Israelites that's with him that have had to flee Israel and go and live in the land of the Philistines. And they've been there for 1 year and 4 months. And while they've been there, they've been running out, they've been going and capturing and taking over towns and cities that are ran by individuals that's not supposed to be in the land, although before Israel came into that land, it was their land. Okay? And so these Israelites that's with David, when they get back to the land of the Philistines from not being able to engage in a war against their own people, they looking at David like, David, what have you got us into? Not only were you about to lead us into war on the side of the Philistines against our own people. Now, yes, they're chasing us down. They want to kill us for some strange reason that none of us know. But now you've riled us up to go to war against our own people. We turn around and go back home. And now because of you, we've lost our sons, our daughters, and everything that we have. So they looking at David like, man, we might as well just kill this dude. You see how quick the people that had came to you and you've been protecting and leading, and handling business and taking care of, how quickly that they will turn on you? That's why we was talking about yesterday that you need to put your loyalty in the Most High. And once you put your loyalty in the Most High, then you will begin to be able to be loyal to people, because you won't be actually loyal to the people. You'll be so loyal to the Most High that you will love his people. You understand? And when we say you will love his people, meaning you will love his creation, whether it turns on you or not. Verse 7, and David said to Abiathar, the priest, Abimelech's son. This is the priest that was left over from when Doeg went and killed, the Edomite went and killed all of the priests and all of the women, the children, the beasts, the animals, everything in the city of the priests, because they helped David when David was on the run from Saul. David said to Abiathar, the priest of Amalek's, the priest Amalek's son, or excuse me, Abimelech's son, I pray you, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. Now, this is the second time that the ephod has been brought to David, right? Meaning that this is the second time that David would inquire to the Most High about what to do without going through a priest, a pastor, a prophet. David himself would go and speak to the Most High. And we saw that Saul attempted to do this, but Saul attempted to do this. It wasn't the same way that David operated in. David goes to the Most High to ask him everything. Saul would make decisions and do things and then attempt to get himself out of trouble by usurping Samuel and go and have a burnt offering and inquire of the Most High. Excuse me. Which was out of order and caused him to lose the kingdom at the end of the day. But David is able to go and inquire of the Most High because David goes to the Most High first. Meaning David doesn't make decisions and then go to the Most High. And if you don't understand that that's what you should be doing, then let us stop and just tell you that if you learn anything, one, always do what you're supposed to be doing. 2, always go to the Most High before you make a decision. Any decision, right? Go to the Most High, not just big decisions like what city should I move to? Where should I buy a house at? No, even the little ones. Go to the Most High first, because when he's ordering your steps, then you're going to have success. Verse 8, and David inquired at Yahuwah, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for you will surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Now listen, man. David sees Ziglag, they fall down, they begin to weep, the people begin to turn on them. David's first move is to go and get the priest, get the ephod. I need to talk to the Most High. And he doesn't ask the Most High, why did this happen? He didn't ask the Most High, why did you do this to me? He didn't ask the Most High, why did you turn against me? He went, and the first thing he asked the Most High is, shall I pursue after this troop? He said, Father, should I go get him? Because David never doubted the Most High. You don't doubt the Most High. What did we just read in our daily scripture for today? The fact that his ways are higher than us, and his thoughts are higher than us, and whatever he says happens. That's it. There's nothing that he has spoken that will not happen. Everything he speaks must happen. Do you understand? So the first thing that comes out of David's mouth when he talks to the Most High is, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, meaning the Most High answered David, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. 9. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men, and 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook. Man, so the chase was so intense, and David was so focused at what he was doing. Out of the 600 men, 200 of them were too tired. David didn't stop. He said, cool, y'all stay right here. We got this. And he continued on with handling the business. When the Most High gives you the answer that you are seeking, let nothing stand between you and making it happen. Let nothing slow you down, right? If you have to leave behind people that's been with you through everything else, if you got to leave behind people that's been solid in other seasons, they've had your back, they was right there with you. If you have to leave them behind, you keep it pushing. You go and do exactly what the Most High has told you to do. You don't wait for them, because the Most High does not give group instructions. The Most High gives exact instructions to individuals. You understand? So if the Most High gives you something, unless he tells you that you're supposed to bring individuals with you, like when he separated Paul and John Mark originally. When he separated them, it was like, man, I got something for them to do. He's called 2 names. But when it comes to him giving you an instruction, it's not a group instruction. It's not for everybody. It's like when the teacher tells you something that they want you to do. It's not for everybody in the class to get up and go do. They told you something that you want to do. Stop turning around and trying to get people to go with you on your missions. Go and handle your business because he told you he would do it. You don't need to bring everybody, right? He gave you the gift that's inside of you. He didn't give it to you and 15 other people around you. He gave it to you. Now, if he brings others around you to encapsulate you or to help you or to move with you, that's fine. But when he gives you a task, don't you dare turn around and be like, hey, man, look, I need some people. No, you go. You make your move. The Most High will bring those that you need. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to El David and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of a cake of figs. and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his ruach came again to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water 3 days and 3 nights. Yeah, a Mitzri, an Egyptian. And David said unto him, to whom belong you, and whence are you? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to the Amalekites. And my Adonai left me because three days agone I fell sick. Now, look at this situation. David is chasing the Amalekites to go and wipe them out. And David comes up on a man by himself in the field. How does David treat him? David is a warrior going to take these dudes out. He's on he's headhunting, right? But when he runs up on this random man, he treats him with mercy. He treats him with peace. He treats him with love. He does not abandon what it is that the Most High has instilled inside of us. No matter what, do not abandon what God has put inside of you. You might be on a war path in the sense of 2025 type understanding, meaning that you're not going to kill anybody, but you're going to handle some business that's so serious. You don't want anybody getting in your way. And now you run into this individual along the path or along the way in which you got to make it happen. How are you going to treat that person? Because there's some that they would have caught this dude bow off with his head. Now, where the rest of them at? No. David treated him with mercy. He fully restored him and then talked to him like a human. Meaning that although it was time for David to handle business, David was not outside of his mind. David wasn't being a lunatic. You understand? David didn't lose control. Excuse me. And so they fed this man. They gave him water. They gave him raisins. They gave him cakes. Into the fact that he was restored. And once he was fully restored, they asked him where was he from and who was he with, basically. Who do you belong to? Who were you in service to? And so the man explains to him that he was in service to the Amalekites. And that 3 days ago he was left there because he was sick, meaning that his master didn't have any mercy for him at all. But David had mercy for him. You see why mercy is so important? David is going to receive intel or intelligence on the individuals that he's hunting down, that he's going for. And he's going to be able to receive this intel because of the way that he treated this man. Although he was headhunting at the time, he was still within his right mind and his heart was still with the Most High. Meaning that regardless of what the situation is, you should always keep your heart with the Most High. Regardless of what the Most High has called you to do. He may have given you a tough task. He may have told you that you have to go and relinquish or get some people out of custody or whatever it is, right? He may have told you that, listen, man, the National Guard is out. They headhunting y'all. They coming for you. I told you to be peaceful, but now there's a time for everything. That now I need you to be a shield and let nothing come through. Well, even when it becomes that time when you see random individuals on the street, you have mercy on them. You don't group everyone into the same group. You stick to the task. You understand? Verse 14. We made an invasion upon the south. Let me get a translation for how I'm going to say this. Kurathim. The Kurathim. What is this? Verse 14. We made an invasion on the southern area of the Cherethites, or the Kurathim, in a territory which belongs to Judah, and of the southern area of Caleb, and we burned Ziglag with fire. So the man is already telling David, hey man, even though he doesn't know that David is coming over Ziglag, right? But this informant is informing David that yes, he was a part of the group of the people that David is looking for, right? He was able to get this intelligence because of the way that he treated him. He didn't grab him and go straight into torture. In fact, they fed him. Verse 15, and David said to him, can you bring me down to this company? David was like, oh, Well, can you show us where they at? Could you bring us to them? And he said, swear 7 oaths unto me by Elohim, that the hands of my that you will neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my Adonai, and I will bring you down to this company. So the man that provided the information told David, look, as long as you don't kill, you have to promise you have to make a deal with your God that you will not kill me if I bring you down to this company, and that you won't turn me over to them. Because I don't want you to do me in, and I do not want you, never become a Catholic. Are you crazy? What a random thing to say. And if you are a Catholic, it doesn't matter that you're a Catholic as long as you come out of the activities of the Catholics and you return to being underneath Christ. Because everybody meets Christ in different locations. But when you get to heaven, there is no designation of Catholic or Baptist or Presbyterian or with New Age or whatever it is. It's only those that seriously do what Christ say to do. That's it. Right? And if you don't like that, it's okay. But David, the Egyptian is making a deal with David that David would go before the Most High and make a promise not to kill him nor turn him over to the Amalekites. And he's not going to have to worry about getting turned over to the Amalekites because there's not going to be any left. Verse 16, and when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistine and out of the land of Judah. So when David and his men make it down to these individuals that had jacked them, the people that had robbed them, right? They was partying. They laid out on the ground, drunk, having fun, playing music, dancing, enjoying all of the different things that they had taken from the land of the Philistines and the land of Judah. And this is how David found them. So David, being the warrior he is, and David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode upon camels and fled. So when David caught them, they didn't rest. They didn't eat. They didn't prepare. They ran up on them and was just wiping them out. And then there were so many of them, it took from twilight, which is around midnight time, until the evening of the following day. Meaning that they was out there taking people out for about 16 to 18 hours. Just getting it in. On everybody's head. The only ones that escaped was 400 young boys who jumped on camels and got up out of there. Verse 18. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away. And David rescued his 2 women. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons or daughters, neither spoil or anything that had taken to them. David recovered all. Now, why is this important? David was sent away from the battle. The Most High refused to allow him to fight against Israel, even though he had to run and flee from Israel. And during that time, David was sent out on a mission. Now, before he was sent out on that mission to go after the Amalekites, remember, he's at Ziglag and they all crying and his men are about to mutiny. His men are about to turn on him and stone him. The Most High gives them a task. And although the task was to chase down these individuals, these Amalekites, and take back everything and every single one that they had taken from them, the real task was the hearts of his men. Because they recovered all. Meaning that the loyalty level of these 400 or 600 men rose greater that day than it was before. Because remember, they was with David. They was ready to go to war against Israel. Them being Israelites themselves. They was ready for it. But as soon as their families were in jeopardy, they was about to turn on them. So the Most High put David in a predicament that he did not want to be in. He gave David a challenge that he did not want to suffer. But when he suffered it and went through it, he began to take the position that was anointed for him to have. Because now with these 400 men, they trust him. Now it don't matter if they take everything from us. Now it doesn't matter if we get invaded. It don't matter if they kidnap our families. We know the Most High is with David for real. So when David say, let's ride, say no more. I'm with you, bro. And this is how he needs to be seen, not only by his 600 that's around him, but by Israel as a whole as time goes. Because remember, man, when Saul became king, the people did not want him as their king. Oh, they wanted an earthly king. They didn't want Saul. They didn't want Saul. And this caused a lot of problems for Israel as a whole. So this time when they receive a king, they're going to receive a king that they want. And this king is not going to be a king of the people. He's going to be a king after God's own heart. And because he's after God's own heart, he will be truly a king over the people. You guys understand? Verse 20. And David took all the flock and the herds which they drove before those other cattle, and said, this is David's spoil. And David came to the 200 men that were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor, and they went forth to meet David, and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them out of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his woman and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Now look at this. David didn't say this. David saw his other 200 men that had to rest. They had to rest. He saw his 200 men and had mercy on them. But the wicked and evil with him, they stood up and was like, hey, David, man, we ain't giving them nothing. We'll give them their women and children, but they ain't getting all of these riches. Are you kidding me? They wasn't with us in the war. Remember how we talked about how David was when he saw that man in the field? Just because you as a leader have the right heart and you following the Most High for real, that does not mean that all the people that are brought around you to help you get victory in the battles that you will have, that doesn't mean that they all have good hearts. You have to remember that, every single person is going to be accountable for their heart. Every single person is a work in progress. And none of us are all the way right. Right? Your best case scenario is to get around those individuals that have the least wrong about them, but none of us are all the way right. But what this scenario has shown is shown David who is with him and who is with Israel and who is with the Most High. Because you have to remember that David is loyal to the Most High. This is why he would not touch Saul. It was not about Israel. It was about the Most High. He kept saying, I will not put my hand against the Lord's anointed. And understanding that and seeing that, what we really need to understand is that our loyalty must be on the Most High. Even when we begin to go into battles, we begin to go into situations, there's a hierarchy that's placed before us, there's leadership that's around us, we still have to have an individual loyalty to the Most High. Because if not, then there's only certain sections that these individuals will be able to come with us into. You guys understand? 20. And David took all the flocks and herds which they drove before those other cattle, and said, this is David's spoil. And David came to the 200 men that were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to meet David and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and the men of Belial. And the Belial means without profit, worthlessness, wickedness, or destruction. All the people who had no worth. That didn't mean they weren't warriors. It didn't mean that they weren't taking out Amalekites. That didn't mean that they weren't down for the fight. Oh, they were all of those things. But deep inside, they was worthless. Of those that went with David and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them out of the spoil that we have recovered. Save to every man his woman and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. And David said, you shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yahuwah has given us, who has preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. See, David is reminding these individuals, as well as everyone else, it's the Most High that gives and takes. Yeah, the Amalekites were the ones that were used to come and take these things from us. But the Amalekites didn't take these things from us. The Most High did. And yeah, we went into battle and we fought and we were the ones swinging the sword and taking the people out and spilling blood. Yeah, that was us. But it was the Most High that put them into our hands. So even these rewards, this spoil, don't even belong to us. So who are we to exalt ourselves over these other 200? What are you talking about? We're not going to give to them. That's pride. That's pride, man. Pride will always blind a man. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part is that goes down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarries by the stuff. They shall take part alike. David said the same spoils that y'all got, they gonna get. It's gonna be an even split. Why? Because the Most High blessed us to come through this battle. The Most High blessed us to go down there with 400 because he knew that was all we needed. He blessed us with 200 to stay back and guard all of our stuff while we were chasing after these people so that we could catch them at just the right time. What you talking about? They weren't in the battle. They were in the battle. Their part in the battle was to be the lookouts. Their part in the battle was to guard the stuff. You sit up here and exalt yourself because you were swinging the sword. That doesn't make you better than the supply men. Verse 25. And it was from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. So from that day, David made it a law or a rule that regardless of what position that you play in whatever that we're doing, it's an even split. Everybody gets. You understand? Regardless of what your position is on the team, you could be a bench player. You're going to get yours too. You understand? We're not going to look at you like you didn't get, like it was only us 5 on the court when we won the championship. Everybody on the team get a ring. What you talking about? You don't get a better ring because you were the one that put the last layup in. Everyone is equal. Everyone. And this is something that we need to constantly remind ourselves because we are in a time where individuals are being exalted. That's just real talk. People are being exalted right before our very eyes, and there are others that are coming underneath that person has been exalted. That doesn't mean that that person has been exalted rules over that person, but the Most High has placed them in that position. So they're going to operate in that position. And we need to know if we happen to be one of the individuals that get exalted, you have to know how to hold it down for everybody. You have to know how to toe the hard line. Now, you don't ever want anyone to leave from underneath you, right? Or to leave from your side or right next to you. But two male lions that are dominant cannot always be in the same pack. There must become a time where they split off and they packs grow away from one another. So it has to happen at times. But whether you are the one that's being a follower right now, if you're in the season of being a follower, if you're in a season of taking orders, man, you take orders like nobody else. Because we are all in on this. We are all in on this. If you're being exalted right now to be a captain over 50, you must remember that there are also captains over 1,000. So although you've been exalted, you are not the top dog. You are not top brass. You are not a brigadier general. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even when we are exalted, we have rules to listen to. Look at David. David has been anointed king. He still listens to the rules of the Most High. And the people came back with a wicked and evil thought. He did not cast them out. He put them in check. And he didn't just put them in check. He then set the tone for everyone. You understand? And this can be a hard thing to do. But if you've been given the calling to do this, you will be able to do it. Don't waver. Right? Don't be weak. Be strong in the Most High. Verse 26. And when David came to Ziglag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, behold, a present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yahuwah. Now I want you to think about this. David is in Ziglag. And although he's in Ziglag, and he's not engaging in this battle that's going to be between Saul and the Philistines, the Israelites and the Philistines, the fact that Israel is going to be subjugated by the Philistines in this battle, they're going to be captured and overthrown. David is still cast out sending gifts back to Judah. And the nation is not split right now. There's no northern and southern there's no northern and southern kingdom right now. They're united as one. So when he's sending gifts to Judah, he's sending gifts to Israel. Even though they cast them out. He's doing right to those that has done wrong to him. He's being good to those that have done terrible things to him. He's blessing those that have not been blessing him. Do you understand? Stop. Yes, it's true. Everything that you keep saying that people are doing to you is 100% true. They're doing that to you. We believe you. You're right. They're doing it. Now, who cares? Do what you're supposed to do. Treat them with mercy. Be good to them. That's Christ-like behavior. You understand? That's Christ-like behavior. It should bring you peace that we agree with you. Oh, they've been shady than a son of a gun. Yeah, they have. And they've been enjoying it while they've been doing it too. They haven't been hiding it. They've been doing it all in your face. Yeah, we've been saying it too. Now be good to them. Bless them. Go to Sam's Clubs and get one of them huge things of them breakfast cakes. You know, it's like 48 of them in there, right? For like $12, $13. Bring it into work and just sit it on the counter. Bless them. Do right to them that do wrong to you. We can see what the benefits of this is through David. We can see what the benefits of this is. Do good to those that don't do good to you. There was one that came and asked us to pray over them because they were trying to forgive a family member. And this is a word for you. Do good to those that's done wrong to you. Do good to the. You want to know how you break that generational curse? Do good to those that have done wrong to you. Do good to them. Love them so much that it embarrasses them. Have mercy on them. Think about all the times that we've done absolutely wrong to the Most High. And like he's not watching. Think about all the things that we've done to the Most High, like he's not watching us, Does he not keep doing good to us? Does he not stay answering our prayers? Does he not keep a roof over our head? Does he not keep clothes on our back? Does he not, even if you are out in the streets, does he not still give you what you need? Does he not keep making a way for you? David is a wonderful example for us to study. David made some mistakes, yeah. David got himself into some bad situations too. David got himself punished several times. But you want to know what David kept doing? He kept his faith. It wasn't that he didn't have emotions. Yes, he had emotions. It wasn't that he didn't experience real life situations. Yes, he experienced real life situations. He did. But while he was experiencing them and going through them and feeling all the emotions that a man would feel, having all the thoughts that a man would think, he never lost faith. He never lost faith. This is what it's like to be a man after God's own heart. This is the fact that you don't lose faith. There can be times where you're studying the scriptures, and as you read, it hits you in the heart like an arrow, because what you are perceiving initially is that it's over for you. You reading and you saying, wait, what? Anything that he say is going to be done. And your heart begin to flutter. You start getting nervous. And then thoughts start popping in your head. Oh, well, if you're not going to be able to make it because of what this word said, then you might as well go ahead and drink. Why don't you just go ahead and smoke, man? You just read, you're not going to be saved, and you have to sit there and you have to, nah, I still got faith. I still got faith. His judgments are so right and so true that if he look at me and tell me to go, he's right. I got faith. Jesus didn't die and be rose from the grave so that we could fail. That's not how he did it. That's not how he did it. He saved us because the Most High knew they are sinners. That's what they are. And as long as they have their flesh, they're going to keep being sinners. No matter what, don't lose your faith. The earth might be shaking like you on a roller coaster. Don't you dare lose your faith. That water might be rising up over your neighbor's house as you looking out the window and you know you ain't got no boat. Can't swim, don't have no life vest. Don't you dare lose faith. Don't you dare. You better keep believing. David came to that city and that city was burnt, in shambles, everybody missing. His baby's gone. His men that was with him ready to ride and make it happen, and they not no suckers. They known for taking people out. No problem. They looking at David like, bro, we about to bust this dude over his head. This man then took us out here, got us up out of our land. This is how they looking at him. He didn't waver on his faith. He said, go get the priest. Go get him. I got to talk to the Most High. And when he went to talk to the Most High, there was no questioning him. There was no, why me? There was no, Father, what did I do? Why did you take the... It was, should I go get him? Should I overtake him? And the Most High was like, go get him, bruh. And he was like, all right, just like that. And you notice how they went from being ready to stone him to riding right behind him again, because he didn't waver. Yeah, he was crying so much he was laid out and couldn't cry no more. He had the emotions of a man. God knows you have emotions. God knows that you might walk outside and your only method of transportation is destroyed. You have bills to pay. You have mouths to feed. You was just getting on your feet. You was just getting your credit score where it needed to be. Everything was just getting in line. And that anger that you feel is real. That disappointment that you feel is real. Those random thoughts of what do I do now? Man, how am I going to get to work? Man, who did this? Are they still around here? They probably looking at me right. All of them thoughts is going through your head. Don't you dare waver on him. Be angry and sin not. My daughter wrote, that's one of her favorite verses today. Be angry and sin not. He knows you're going to be emotional. He knows you're going to have feelings. Don't you dare leave him. You stand with him. You stand with him. Verse 25, and it was so from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. And when David came to Ziglag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Judah, even to his friends, saying, behold a present for you from the spoil of the enemies of Yahuwah. Now they sitting here receiving a present while they getting ready to be overthrown underneath, they lame duck king. Look at that. Verse 27. To those who are in Bethel, who were in Ramoth of the south, those who were in Jatar, those who were in Aroer, those who were in Sipmoth, those who were in Ishtimoa, those who were in Rakel, those who were in the cities of the Jerahmeelites, those who were in the cities of the Kenites, those who were in Hormath, those who were in Chorosan, those who were in Athah, those who were in Hebron, and so all the places where David himself and the men were accustomed to rove. So he sent presents to all of these individuals. He sent presents to all of them. That's what a real king does. Y'all want to do the last 13 verses for Samuel chapter 31? If y'all want to do the last verses for Samuel chapter 31, let me know in the chat right now. I mean, we might as well just go ahead and polish it off. Why wait all the way until tomorrow, huh? Chapter 31, verse 1. Now the Philistines fought against Israel. And the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, Saul's sons. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, draw your sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. And Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men that same day together. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side of the Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled. And the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the next day, or on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen at Mount Gilboa. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent it into the land of the Philistines round about, to publish it in the house of their idols among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body into the wall of Bethsan, Bethsan. And when the inhabitants of Yavishi Galad heard that which the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the body of his sons from the wall of Beth Shannon, and came to Yavishi and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Yashivi, and fasted 7 days. And this was the end of Saul. Now there's other writings that tell us that when Saul fell on his sword, it didn't actually end him all the way. That there was another that came along during this time when they were going through the bodies, and they found Saul, and they saw that Saul was either taken out or wasn't all the way out, because he removed a bracelet off Saul's hand. And that bracelet that he removed off Saul's hand, he takes to David. And when he takes it to David, to give it to David for David to become king and to be seen as king, David looked at him and was like, "Where'd you get that bracelet from?" And the young man tells him what happened, and David looks at him and he says, "Now, what would make you think that you could touch the Lord's anointed?" I'm telling you, David wasn't playing, man. When it comes to David and his servitude to the Most High, he did not play. Whatever the Most High said, however it's supposed to go, that was it when it came to David. That doesn't mean that David didn't live a sinless life, no. That means that David had such high regard for what the Most High said, he would go out of his way to make sure that he followed it. And that's the end of First Samuel. Today's Monday. Tomorrow we will be having a reading in a new book. We will go into prayer and we will see what we will be reading next. But let us never forget that everything that happened to Saul was Israel's fault. Why do we say that? The only reason why Saul was king was because Israel went to Samuel and they wanted an earthly king. They wanted an earthly man to lead them into battle. And they got that. But the end result of that was a dysfunctioning Israel. Was a captured Israel. For they lost many cities to the Philistines. And being the people of the Most High, whenever you are allowed to be conquered by another people, that's a terrible feeling. Whenever you are put to flight to run out of your own cities, a land that was given to you, a land that your people and the Most High did great and amazing works in order to obtain, and he allows another to come and take it from you, that's a terrible feeling. And you know, there's some nations right now that the Most High has been favoring. And their time is coming to a close rapidly. And if we can't look on them with compassion and understanding, knowing what it feels like, then our heart is not in the right place. If we can't explain to them and talk to them and reason with them of why they should return to the Most High, use our own story. We should use our own history. What's up, Jay Garcia? He didn't say anything wrong, AR Symphony. He just was like, what's up, homie? That's where I'm from. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we should always be able to understand people that's having things taken from them. We should always be able to understand people that's being kidnapped out of their homes, out of their jobs, walking down the street. We should be able to understand these people. We should be able to see them like our ancestors. We should not look at them and say, well. Yeah, the Most High is going to punish every single nation that had anything to do with it. Yes, He is. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have compassion on those that's going under punishment. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be talking to these individuals and trying to get them to change their heart. The allegiance that's in their heart. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be looking at your own brothers and sisters that's coming out against the Hebrew Israelites, saying that they're trying to bring people back into the law. Yeah, they are, but they're the best candidates to be a Paul, aren't they? For they know who they are. They're not wrong about that. The way they're going about it, questionable. But everything's happening just as it's supposed to happen. Just as it's supposed to happen. Is that not one of the biggest alerts to all the nations of, they woke up. They woke up and they bold and they not holding nothing back. They woke up. That's a great alert. So instead of going out and making videos about why the Hebrew Israelites are wrong about the law, make videos about or talk about how, show in Hebrews where he explains very clear. Just so clearly, it's wild. Just so verbatimly clear that the Old Testament law is so much weaker than the New Covenant under Christ. How with no shadow of a doubt should you ever be seeking to go back into that. Yeah, that's right. But stop talking to them like they don't understand who they are. Stop talking about them like they're not right. Stop running around talking about there are no more Hebrews. That's a bold-faced lie. There are. In fact, that's one of the most terrifying parts about it all, is the majority of the world believes that the Hebrews are no more. So they believe that Edom or Esau is no more. They're totally blind. Completely. And so as they watch these nations being destroyed, they're going to think, we did something wrong because we're not raptured yet. Hence the great falling away. But if they receive the truth, they won't be lost. If they receive the truth, the whole truth, they won't be lost. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. All of this talk about how Christians are evil, Christians this, Christians that, isn't it strange that Christians all over the world are under assault? Everybody hate the name Jesus now. Everybody hate the title Christian now. Isn't this such a predicament? If there's anybody that should understand, it should be us. We should be humbly telling people, yes, no, we are the Hebrews. But as far as going back into the law, no, you don't want to do that. Now, you don't want to go counter and just say there is no law. No, you don't want to do that because you're going to get judged by the law. It's just you're supposed to present the life of Christ. Now that you have been crucified with him, there is no other crucifixion for you. Right now that you have been saved by his blood, do not return back into the other activities, or there's no way for you to be crucified again. You can't get crucified twice. Don't go back. Don't go back. Because if you abandon faith, boy, he gonna have no pleasure in you. So yeah, tell the people who we are. Yeah, tell them. They need to know. It's for their benefit. It's not anything negative. It's for their benefit. If I knew that the people over there was actually Esau and Edom, the synagogue of Satan, as it's broken down in Revelations 2:3 and 2:9, if I didn't know that and I was supporting them, I would want you to tell me. I'm not trying to be supporting the synagogue of Satan. Are you crazy? Tell them the truth. I think a lot of people have agendas, though. I think a lot of people are hanging their hat on what I know this and, actually it's this way and it's... You better just be thankful for the blood. Because every single thing that we do is filthy rags. Even when we share the truth, still filthy rags. You're not getting any kudos, right? You're not getting any brownie points. You're not getting any stripes. We are all sinners in need of a Savior. And Christ is the one who saved every single one of us. So just tell people the truth. It's not Christians against Hebrews and Hebrews against Christians. If you go back and read Acts chapter 11, verse 26, you will understand that the first Christians were Hebrews bringing the word to Greeks. And because they were bringing the gospel of Christ, repentance, and being underneath the grace, being saved through Christ, they called them Christians. Which they didn't even call them Christians. They called them Mashiachans or something like that, because Mashiach is Messiah. So they were preaching the gospel of the Messiah. But they switched it to Christians, which means the same thing. There's nothing wicked or even evil about Christians. But there's a lot of wicked and evil people that have been calling themselves Christians and have taken the gospel and the image of Christ and everything else and twisted it and flipped it and rolled it and threw it behind their back, brought it back around the side, swung it around like a hula hoop just a little bit, and then served it up to people as a hot mess. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've done that. But what does that got to do with the ones that's for real? That has nothing to do with those that are really Christians. You know, they starving and lynching and decapitating Christians right now. You know, you got Christians hiding. I mean, for all those that hate the name Christian, you telling me you going to go to China, down into the tunnels, and find them Christians over there memorizing the Bible, worshiping God, paying with their own blood and their lives? And these are the people that you going to say, oh, you're not supposed to be Christian? You going to go tell them that? Or are you just having fun playing around while you over here in America? Running around with pride? Huh? Telling everybody how Christians are crazy and all this other stuff. No. The individuals that was twisting and turning the word, you're going to get your just due. You're going to receive a full platter, plus a side. You're going to get double for your trouble. You're going to drink the dregs, yeah. If you don't repent and come up out of that, there's no doubt about it. But all of this hating on Christians, you're kicking yourself in the face when you do that. That's like hating on men because there's a woman who decided to dress herself as a man and go out and do terrible things. So now you say that men are terrible. No. She was acting like a man, but she not a man. They was acting like they was Christians, but they not Christians. That's the whole point. Why everybody got to hate on Jesus? Yeah, everybody just got to hate. You want to know who really understand haters? Jesus. That's the, if you have haters hating on you, do you know who you could talk to? You could talk to Jesus, because he's like, man, I feel you. I came and died for them, and they still hate me. I save them from all of their sins, and they still hate me. I'm sitting at the right hand of my Father day and night, advocating on their behalf like they lawyer, and they still hate me. I feel you when you talking about hate. I understand. If you have haters, there's somebody that you can talk to. He understands. And it's getting funny to me, because I'm like, man, ain't nobody, there's no one who has more haters than Christ. That's how you know he a Hebrew. Oh, man, it's just getting funny to me right now. But it's true, man. Man, he has so many haters, man. His own people hate him. His own people hate his name. His own people hate the people that love him. Whew. Don't be a hater, man. Don't be a hater. You want to know who's the ultimate hater? Boy, isn't that wild? Satan. Satan's the ultimate hater. He has eternal life. Living in heaven. Turned into a straight hater. And been a hater from that day forward. And gonna be a hater to the day that he burning. Hater. Don't be like, if you're a hater, you acting like Satan. Now, you walking in mercy, and boy, that's cold. You walking in mercy and love and forgiveness and joy and peace and humbleness and desiring to see. You want to see people win? You walking like Christ. You walking like Christ. If you see what's going on with Shador Sanders, and you like, man, they all being some haters on them. And then the people are saying Texas is going to be ranked number one. Archie Manning going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you sitting there and you thinking and you saying, man, I hope that he fail. Just because of the way that they was hating on Shador Sanders. You a hater just like Satan. You a hater. There's no difference between you and the enemy right now. If you're looking at your neighbor that just put a pool in, and you saying, man, how can they afford a pool? I'm barely able to put groceries in my refrigerator. Man, I'm gonna drop some nails in front of their house by the curb so it'll pop their tires. They got money to put in a pool. I'm gonna see what they can do with no tires. Can you go to work with no tires? You're a hater just like Satan. You're a hater, man. You get on here and you hear the word coming through. And you see people receiving it and they feeling it. And you're taking time out of your own day to go to a random live stream and, and type things, obscenities and all these different things and whatnot. You are a super hater. You're a hater. If you realize that you're a Hebrew, and you 100% right. And now you're looking at all the other nations saying, for everything that you did to us, I'm about to enjoy watching your destruction. You are a hater. You're just like Satan. You're a hater. You hate the fact that although it's true of whatever they did to us, it's true. You hate the fact that Jesus will save them. You can't stand that. If you're okay with your people being in the same in a situation of destruction, you're okay with it. And you don't fight against it at all. You're a hater. But you don't have to keep being that. You want to know the beautiful thing about Christ? You could have been a hater for the last 20 years, last 50 years, last 80 years. You could be 82 years old right now. Been a hater since 82 years ago. Was born a hater, grew up a hater, enjoyed being a hater, and the captain of the haters. But if you would just confess what you have done and ask for forgiveness, he would save you too. When it comes to Jesus, there's really nothing to hate on. You need to forgive yourself, and you need to forgive them. You can't be an effective leader while being a hater of the people that's rocking with Christ. It don't work like that. It don't work like that, man. We're supposed to be examples of Christ, ambassadors of Christ. People are supposed to be able to notice us from a distance. Not because of the clothes we wear or the fragrances we wear or the styles that we wear or the colors of our hair or whatever else, or the cars that we drive or where we live or what we give. No, they're supposed to notice the light from a distance. They're supposed to notice it. The only thing that's holding you back is your heart. You can know all the laws, you can wear all the clothes, you can memorize all the scriptures, you can do all of that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be your heart. It's your heart that's going to separate you. When he said that few would find it, that didn't mean that few would memorize scriptures. That didn't mean that few would follow the law. That didn't mean that few would keep the commandments. That didn't mean that few would keep the Sabbath day. That didn't mean any of those things. It meant that only a few would change in the heart. You be one of those few. You change in the heart. We don't have to sit here and talk about all the wrongs that we've done. We don't need to sit here and talk about how we all sinners anymore because everybody know. Tonight we don't need to hear about removing worship from the world because if your heart changed, you will do that normally. We don't need to explain to you why to read your word, because if you don't understand that, how will you change your heart? We don't need to talk to you about praying in 3 different ways. We don't even need to pray over you tonight. You just need to go get up, look in the mirror, and talk to him for real and ask him to change your heart. That's what you need to do tonight. You need to change your heart. Everybody pray. The ones that their prayers get heard and the ones that their prayers don't get heard. Tons of people read the Bible. But do they change their heart? Tons of people memorize scriptures, go to church on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They are part of committees. They give, right? They give so much that they are a part of mega churches because of how much they've been given. They've been given over there. How many of them changed their heart? God doesn't want your money. He wants you. If you don't give him you, then that's on you. I'm looking forward to what we will be reading tomorrow night. When we come on tomorrow night, we will let you know what it is. David's heart did not waver when it came to the Most High. Saul's heart was never with him. That's the difference, man. Hey, y'all have a great night.